Hey Cora, this is Brendan Lemon. This is the companion audio to How Do I Motivate Myself to Study? This is a huge one for a lot of you, and I know studying is really important to everybody in the world. If you're trying to better yourself at any point in your life, studying is really the way to do it. There's even people who believe metaphysically that knowledge is actually a resource in the universe, and it's whatever that resource is, it's what changes things from one state to another when added to an equation. I've heard different philosophers talk about this, and if you're looking to change your life, honestly, it makes sense that you're studying this hard. I think it's not an accident that many of you guys are almost obsessed with this, but here's what I've learned. I've done studying in my life. I have a bachelor's of science, a double major in philosophy and creative writing. Now, some of you might roll your eyes at that thinking like, oh, great, this guy doesn't have a STEM degree. I know a lot of you study things like computer programming, chemistry, physics, etc. All of those are great. I think if I had to do it over, I might do those. But one of the things that I really needed in philosophy was to understand lots of different, very technical terms and how those terms fit together with one another. I studied the philosophy of language, and that is in many ways analogous to a kind of technical degree. It's not a technical degree by any stretch of the imagination, but in many ways it's similar to. So let's jump into it. How to motivate yourself. The most powerful thing you can do is create a powerful vision, an image of where you want to go and what you want to do. If you don't know why you're engaging in the difficult actions and activities that you're engaging in, you will not be motivated to finish them. And it's the people who finish them who move on to actually achieving the things they want in their life. One of the things that held me back for many years in my life is that I didn't have a strong enough vision to give me a direction and a resource that I could draw on to move through difficult times. And consequently, I would get into the difficult work that comes from having to achieve something, moments of studying where you're going to have to be up way late some night trying to cram for a test or trying to understand very difficult things. Maybe you're going to have to do the hard work to get through a job that you're simply going to have to do if you're trying to build something. And I would get to that point and go, you know what? I don't think this is for me. Then I would walk out. So I've had to really learn this, that the thing that you need is a powerful image. So why are you doing this? That's the first thing you need to have, is to sit down and ask yourself the question, why are you doing this? Write it down. Get a piece of paper and write down, I am studying because I need to get good grades, because when I get good grades and I graduate, I'm going to get a job in X, Y, or Z. And even if you don't know what that is, go ahead and write down something that will keep you still motivated. Like I'm going to get a good job. I don't know what it is yet, but it's going to make me this money because I want to build a family and I want a house and I want a girlfriend, or whatever you want to put down. Those things that you can look at and review. And in fact, not only does Charles Duhigg find that people who are in the Marine Corps training program are more successful when they have a vision, but this is the same thing both Napoleon Hill talks about in Think and Grow Rich, but also, believe it or not, Plato talks about. I think it's in the Gorgias. I'm trying to remember which document, but he talks about having this idea in your head and how people who have it are motivated through difficult times. So having that vision, and I think the way that Napoleon Hill puts it, the strategy he uses is worthwhile, which is write down what you want, write down what you're specifically, in specifics, what do you want? How much money do you want to make? What kind of house do you want to have? Write a paragraph. It doesn't have to be exhaustive, but just a handful of things that motivate you, that make you feel your juices flowing when you look at it. And then when you see that, write down what you're going to do to get it. You're going to write down, I'm going to study. I'm going to continue to study until I go through everything. I'm going to memorize the things I have to do, etc. And then read that every morning and every night before bed. This got me out of poverty. Everybody listening to this right now, a handful of you, I used to be homeless actually, and the way that I worked myself out of it was I wrote down every single day. I didn't just read it every day. I rewrote it every day, what I was going to do to get out of that situation. And I eventually did it. I paid off all my debt. I got out of the situation. I got a job in sales. I sold a lot of things. I made good money. I paid off all my debt. Within a year of me getting that job, I had everything paid off. And then I moved on to the next thing. I decided to do a stand-up comedy special, focused on that. Decided to do the next thing. I went to Edinburgh, Scotland, and now I'm on to the next thing. So it's entirely possible to motivate yourself to study by building a strong vision. The next few things on here I'll mention quickly. Making commitments explicit are part of what this writing process is about. You're committing to yourself. Now, you can make commitments to others too, and making a powerful public commitment is actually a very powerful way to keep motivated. So take people you know in your life and tell them, you know what, I'm going to go do this now. I'm going to be studying for this amount of time. Sorry, guys, I won't be able to hang out. I'm actually going to be studying for a lot of this because it's important that I get this grades on this test because that's going to help me achieve yada, 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 whatever. And this will be built into your vision, especially if these are people you're committed to who you see a future with. You're going to say to them, look, I might not be able to hang out tonight, but when I have a house that has a pool in the backyard and we're all going to hang out and have a great barbecue because I finished this test in 2 years and 3 years' time, that's what the life is going to be like. Those people are going to be so happy for you, and they're going to be part, especially when they see that they're part of your vision. So getting that social commitment, both from yourself and from others, is a strong way to keep yourself motivated to do something, especially if you see studying as the step in the process to get you to that place. And then finally, rewarding yourself is very important. One of the things I used to do when I did a lot of studying in college that kept me motivated is I would set benchmarks. Like, I'm going to study for half an hour, then I'm going to take a 5-minute break, then I'm going to study for another half hour, then I'm going to take a 5-minute break, then I'm going to study for another half hour, then I'm going to take a 5-minute break. And then at the final end of that, the fourth half hour, so 2 hours into studying, then I'm going to take a 30-minute break. I'm going to watch an episode of The Office or Rick and Morty or whatever. Maybe I'm going to go grab some food. Maybe I'm going to take a walk. Maybe I'm going to have some coffee or go whatever. And then at the end of all of that, maybe I wanted to study for 4 hours or for 5 hours. At the end of all of that time, I would say, then I'm going to go to the bar and meet my friends. They're going to be out. I'm going to have a couple of drinks. It's not going to be a big deal. That kind of thing actually is very powerful also. Keeping yourself motivated by small rewards along the way will get you, it will continue you. I do a lot of CrossFit, and it's strange because when you're doing CrossFit, it's very uncomfortable. You're lifting weights, you're running, you're rowing. But many times I'll build into the workout, because some of these workouts are 15, 20, 30 minutes long, constant activity. I'll build into the workouts little rest periods. I'll say, look, I'm going to work hard for 3 minutes. Then I'm going to take a 30-second break. Then I'm going to get back into work for 3 minutes. And what's amazing is it will sustain you, because in that time before you let's just say you're studying in 30-minute breaks, and then you're going to take a 5-minute break. You can go at minute 27 or 25. You go, you know what? I only got 5 more minutes. I'm just going to focus on this and get it done. And especially when you're 90 minutes, almost 2 hours into this, your studying period, you can say to yourself, you know what? I'm going to get a 30-minute break in 20 more minutes. So let's just focus and get this done, continue to work through it, and in that break, I'll have time to actually chill out. So those are I think the most powerful things that you can do, especially building in breaks. As strange as that sounds, I think having the powerful vision is the foundational item. Getting social commitments to others and getting, especially if you can, a group of people together to help keep you motivated. Make allies in that way. Maybe they're your friends, maybe they're people you're studying with. But also having breaks. I mean, like, if you don't have the vision and motivation, nothing's going to happen. But if you build breaks into what you're doing, you will stay motivated the whole time that you're doing it. You'll be very proud of yourself. Then you can take all those things that you did, all that work, you can put it into a place in your head. And anytime you're thinking about, oh man, this is hard, I don't know, just having done that, you can draw on that experience to focus in the future for more that you have to do. So I commend you. Keep up the good work. Study hard. You're going to get to where you want to go if you do that. You really will, and you got to believe and trust in it. Take care, guys. By the way, feel free to click the link below. There's a newsletter. I release things like this on it a lot. If you want more of this information, I'll also give you some access to some of my comedy, which is not about motivation, but is pretty funny. Take care.